Hi everyone, since the year is almost over, I'm giving away 2 gold passes on my Twitter account. All you have to do to enter is follow my Twitter account at Basel_COC and make a comment under my giveaway post. I'll announce the winner on the morning of the 1st of January, so when the new year comes, best of luck to everyone, and now let's get into the video. And now it's time to look at some of my Ram Rider attacks in Legends League. To find out exactly how I do it, I'll be taking you through all of the steps, how to do the Hero Sui and everything. I'm at around 6,000 trophies at the reset, so somewhere near the top 1,000. Now let's get into the first replay. And this first replay is going to be against a box kind of base. So let's see what we look for. The first thing we do is see if there's any Flame Flinger value. Or if we can tank an Expo, for example, with a King, and then place a Flame Flinger somewhere to get a lot of value. But on this base, the Expos are placed very nicely, so it's kind of difficult to find that. And especially like the Expos and the Monolith take different sides of the base. So there isn't that. So what I'm going to do on this base, first I'm just going to test for some traps. And this is a pretty classic entry which you should know, which you're going to see on this base. So a King in and a wall break to get him into the Monolith compartment. Meanwhile, the Queen down here is going to be helping to funnel him a bit into that compartment, while the Queen goes around the outside kind of. And then I'm going to be placing the log launcher into the core to snipe a multi, and the Queen's going to be taking the ricochet cannon. This is a very classic Sui entry. You could do it with like some kind of zap Sui entry, with just normal spells, whatever you want. Now, unfortunately, the Queen doesn't go into that compartment, but it works out fine because the log launcher still gets its value, and the Queen with the magic mirror can take out the Expo. And right, now I start the Royal Champion in to just get the area where the Queen didn't go for, but now you can see how the whole core of the base is pretty much thinned out, and there's a very clear path for the Royal Champion and the Ram Riders to go through. Notice how I deploy the Ram Riders a bit slowly so they can get their stuns, because they're very powerful, the stuns, and they deal a serious amount of damage. Now the rest of the attack is very simple. You just rage and freeze. If you see stars, he doesn't even use his spells, but hey, just use your spells and you'll be tripling easily. And even after the event's over, as I said in my last video, the first part, you can use the strategy with Twin Hogs, and it should work generally fine. Just use a heal spell. I've tested it out. It should be very good. So now everything's collapsing onto the back end, and there's pretty much a nice 3-star. Let's speed it up, and then we'll go into the next attack. And here's the next base we have. Unfortunately, as you can see, somehow in Legends, people have like 0 creativity or new bases to show, unless you get bases from me, which then you'll have new bases that are going to defend well. But now here, this is another kind of classic base, and you're going to see a similar entry to the previous base, which I attacked, with the log launcher and the Queen and the King. Now, where can we send the King into? Well, I decided to send him into this multi-archer tower compartment, because my idea is somehow for the Queen to go around the Monolith compartment while the log launcher snipes it and maybe gets into the core. So I use some skeleton spells to nicely tank the area to make sure that the Monolith does not get any shots off. There isn't much splash damage around the area, so this works well. And the Queen just helps to clear the defenses around the area. Now notice we haven't even used the King ability, so it's just going to get insane value. And the Queen, again, she just kind of walks wherever. It's not even important to get the Queen perfectly funneled in, but just even if she goes into the core, she's also going to get some insane value with these equipments. Now I'm going to drop a late freeze onto this Fire Spitter. It's not going to get much. And here the Queen gets the ricochet cannon. I guess that's kind of a base building error. But if she couldn't reach it, then she just would have went into the core because some walls are open from the log launcher. And again, great Sui, and you can see it's very simple, the rest of the attack. You don't need to do much. Royal Champion, Warden, Ram Riders, and get a Headhunter in. The Headhunters, of course, are important for the enemy heroes. That's why we have Poison Lizard too. And one important detail here, I sent in some Ram Riders to lure the CC because I didn't lure it earlier. And sometimes you can fail if you don't lure the CC. and I place a poison spell. Luckily for me, it's mass archers, but if it was ice golems, they would have been lured by those ram riders and they would have went to the queen, which is an important detail actually. But now you can see everything's kind of overrunning it. Actually, even if there were ice golems and they stopped the RC, it wouldn't have done anything because I have a swag rage and everything is just collapsing. It's just completely insane. And let's speed it up now. And let's go into the final attack to show you one more kind of base. And this is the final kind of base I have. Unfortunately, again, not many original bases in Legends these days. But this is going to show you one more way to see how you can play this king, queen, log launcher thing. It's pretty much default on every single base. Unless you see flame flinger value, in which case you can like take a king into the expo compartment, for example, tank for a flame flinger while the flame flinger gets value. It's similar to the log launcher entry, but the flame flinger gets more value, so it's just a different kind of value. It depends on the base. But here again, the expos are placed very well. People defend flame flingers these days, not like Town Hall 16. So unfortunately we can't play it all the time. But a skeleton spell to distract the ricochet cannon. King now going into his compartment. Let's see what I do next. Yes, nice, an ice golem and a headhunter plus a freeze because I don't want the ricochet cannon to kill the headhunter. And now I drop in the log launcher very nicely to go and snipe this multi-inferno in the core. Now the CC is coming towards my queen. I freeze the headhunters. I have a poison spell going nicely. Now now this queen locks onto the ice golem. Good thing she doesn't hit the log launcher. And now I pop the queen ability, and very nicely again, you can see a very simple Sui setup. Now, knowing this kind of Sui setup is actually very important because this is pretty much how like Stars destroyed bases at Town Hall 15. Stars, Klaus, Gaku, whoever, all of the great Sui players, they kind of use this setup with the king, queen, log launcher. And it's actually very simple, much simpler than you might think. So as long as you get the general idea of how to play it, you're going to be pretty much tripling bases left and right. And now we can see Ram Rider push going in. Not much more to say, and we can just speed it up because they're just going to run through the base. And yeah, all you have to know the strategy, just how to play the hero Sui properly, get some nice value with the king, queen, log launcher, or the flame flinger, and you're going to be getting 3 stars very nicely. Thanks a lot for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I believe this will be my last video for the year, so I guess I'll be seeing you in 2025. I hope the next year is going to be great for you guys and bring you lots of nice things. So bye bye and see you next year.